What's up everybody, Corbin here, and today I'm going to be showing you how we took this wall and place or whatever and turned it into this thing. I can't believe we actually did it, but we did. This is at my brother-in-law's house, so I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step on how we built this. So the first step was to begin removing the baseboards, and as you can tell we did not have the best tools to remove the baseboards. And then once the baseboards were done, we took off the tack strips. And to make things easier on us and not have to build the shelves, we bought the Billy bookcases that you see here to make things easier. They are kind of short. We're working with an 8-foot tall wall, so we did build a 6-inch kind of platform thing. And I believe we used 3/4 1/4-inch birch plywood here. And how we attached it is we just built the first 3 sides first, attached it to the wall, and then attached the front part afterwards. So this is what it looked like when it was finished. Okay, so we got the baseboards. These little stand things built out, and we've ripped out the carpet, and we're gonna rip out more carpet right there. And what are these? The Billy bookcases? That's what those are called, right? Yeah, Billy bookcases from IKEA. Those are assembled. You ripped out the back, right? Now?
Yeah.
With the table saw?
Yep.
Okay. So we have the back ripped out here. So it's kind of hollowed, so we're gonna attach it right to the wall, and you'll see what we do next. And ripping out that back part is totally optional, not something that you need to do. But they just wanted something smooth in the back, a different material, and it did end up looking really good, but not 100% necessary. Alright, so what we have here is we have a backing board to attach the Billy bookcases, and then right here we're going to make this smooth because we do have textured walls, and so we put a 1/4-inch plywood, just nice and smooth on the back end here. We attach this with brad nails, and then these are in. The reason why we have these sticking out is so that we're going to put some MDF panel on the side here to make it really look built in. We could have done a board all the way down, but it was kind of a weird cut for us, so that's what we did. And this part's optional, but it'll definitely make it look a lot better on those sides. So we did that on both sides. Get a full view. And here's what it looked like right before we attached the Billy bookcases. And now is probably a good time for a disclaimer that I'm not a professional contractor, but this is how we built it, and it turned out pretty dang good. Okay, so we went through and put screws to secure the Billy bookcases in here, and as you see we have our little backing boards on the side. We're going to put MDF trim over on top of here. We just screwed through to make sure that these shelves are not going anywhere. All the way down. I think we got 4 or 5 blocks inside of there. And next we started working on the fireplace frame. I didn't really take a ton of video of this because I did create a fireplace just like this in another video, so I will link that up down below if you want to check out that video on how we built out the fireplace frame. It's the exact same way as in the other video. Here's how we're looking so far. We don't have these studs into the studs yet, but they're kind of just resting there. So as you see, we're gonna attach them in here next and get everything else rolling. We got the carpet all out. Things are coming together. And here we are screwing in the side frames, and I'll show you a closer look of what that looks like right now.
Oh wait, maybe we can just go through there.
Just go through there.
So yeah, that's perfect. Can you hold that side?
This side right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we've done here is we put a 1x6 common board. This is just going to be to give it a really finished look when we lay the MDF down. So we just screwed it in right here, and it went through the bookcase, this 1x6, and then into the stud right here of the frame that we just built out. And we hit that twice, so we have 2 studs right there, and then we hit it in the floor, and then we went all the way up at the top and put the screws in right there. And next it was time to build the front frame for the fireplace. And once again, this is all covered in the other video that is linked down in the description below. Once the front frame is built, it is helpful to have 2 people here to be able to lift the front frame into the right position and screw everything in. as you see, we just screw it into the side of the frames there. And for this project, we are using the RW Flame 42-inch Fireplace. I will link that down below. It is super easy to install. Once you have this front frame built in, literally it's just 4 screws that go into this area right here, and very easy to install, and I really enjoy the Fireplace overall. I have a full review of this fireplace and installation tips. I'll link that down below as well if you want to learn more about this fireplace. So here's everything all framed out. We attach these with screws through here, right through this way. We have the backing board. We have this space where we're going to be putting, you can't really see in here, this spot right here where we're going to be putting the MDF trim. Fireplace is all in. This is 18 inches above from the ground. And then we have the 2 studs for a TV that are 16 inches apart. And then up here in this spot is where we're going to be putting crown molding and filling in that gap. So that will go all the way up to the top. That's why we have those couple of backing boards back there. And that is everything so far. And we had a friend who's an electrician help us install this outlet. Sorry, I'm not an electrician, so I can't really guide you in this area. Okay, so for these baseboards, what we ended up doing is just taking some MDF panel. We attached one to the bottom here, and then we attached one to the top, and then one to the bottom. We're gonna caulk this and make it seamless right here and finish that out. So this is what it looks like on the other side. As you see, this is just an MDF panel that just slips right on top of there. It hides everything up and makes it all clean. So once we had those baseboards all installed, it was time to start getting going on the shiplap. We didn't do a 45-degree cut for the corners of the shiplap because later you'll see I use a little corner molding piece, I guess, to cover those up. I'm not sure. Okay, so here's where we're at. We have we're trying to figure out on these sides what exactly we want to do. What we're gonna do is this shiplap's thick enough to basically cover this. Once we paint this white, that's not gonna be there. But when we meet here, this is kind of tricky because this is 1 inch, but then it turns into 2 inch. So we're gonna put the 2 inch trim all the way up to this point to get it so it's connected and looks like one piece. And then we're gonna put trim around here and then trim around here. And then we're gonna put a piece of hardwood across the border here to fill in this space and some crown molding. And we're not exactly sure how we're gonna do all that, but if you're watching this video in the next few minutes, you'll see how we did it. And it's gonna look awesome. So that's where we're at. So here I am adding, I believe it was 2-inch MDF panel to the sides just to make it look thicker and give that built-in look. This is where having those side backing boards is important so you have something to attach it to. And of course, I definitely do recommend having a brad nailer for this project. It makes everything so much easier. And then you do have to go back and fill in all the nail holes. We've got the little backing right behind here, and so we're just taking this one by one basically and finishing the job off. So we're gonna slide it in there. We did have to shave it down a little bit because the wall was a little ski-wampus. Then we're just gonna go through and caulk it. Here, let me hold this here. Okay, so as you can see here, we're now at the part where we have the outlet. So what I did is I just took a jigsaw and I measured out where the outlet was going to be and then how deep down I need to go, and we're going to need to make one more cut for the top one. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. But use a jigsaw to cut this out so that it plops right on the outlet, just like that. And we can nail that guy in and keep going. If I can find my nailer. Alright, now for the top of the outlet, right here, same thing, just using a jigsaw. Oh, I did it again. Look, my brad nailer over here. Oh. That's skill. Here we go. And as you can see, as we're going along, we're like hammering some of the nails inside of there. Clearly, we're not the best using the brad nailer because some of them kind of stick out sometimes. If this ever happens to you, coming up here in a second, I'll show you kind of how we fix those nails that sometimes stick out a bit. That kind of sticks out, whether it hits like a stud or something, or for whatever reason it's sticking out like this. There's this little thing called a nail set that you can buy.
The Dasco Pro.
Yeah, the Dasco Pro. I'll link it down below in the video, but you just take that and there's 3 different sizes, and you take a hammer and you so it comes in handy, especially if you're not very good at brad nailing, like we sometimes are, just to make sure that those go in. So obviously once that you have it flush and flat, then you go and spackle it. But that nail set has saved me countless times, so I definitely recommend it if you're looking at doing a big project like this, because it's only a matter of time before you have a nail sticking out, unless you're like a pro. Okay, so for these shelves, just to make them even more built-in and custom, and because we're adding the trim on the side, to bring these shelves flat and even, we're just getting these, what are these, 1 inch? 1 inch wide, 1.5 inch wide, and then putting them on the shelves. And then we'll obviously caulk that so it's nice and clean. And you probably want to have a level.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
So basically the same process here as the side MDF panels. We're just adding them to the middle shelves to make them a little bit more big. This is a personal preference and not something that you have to do, but we really like the look of the thicker kind of shelf. And same thing goes here. We did have to go back and spackle and sand these nail holes down, but definitely worth it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're finding this video helpful. It really does help support me, and I really do appreciate it. Just finishing it off at the top. Make sure it's level. And I apologize, I forgot to get video of us adding the hardboard to the tops there to fill in the gaps. But essentially all we did was just get some hardboard and attach it the same way as the MDF panels. And then same thing with the molding. We decided to just go really easy with the molding and not go super fancy and use a lot of caulk to kind of hide our mistakes. For the corners, we did miter them at a 45-degree angle, so it was a little bit cleaner of a joint, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So here's what those corners look like after you end up doing the 45 on both sides and lining it up nice and clean. We'll just caulk that and it'll look really good. Real quick, yeah. So this is what we're using for the corners. We just got these PVC pipe things, so I'll make sure to have a list of what we got exactly. And then you just slip right on over top of there to hide those cuts. Here's what that looked like. We're still debating if we'll go back and add crown molding, but for now, it is what it is. And here is the finished product. Sorry I didn't get any video of us painting or caulking or sanding or different things like that. I figured if you're watching this video, you probably have an idea of how to do those things, and you're more wanting to see the build of the base and stuff like that. So hopefully this video was helpful, and now I'm just going to give you a lot of video of the finished product, because I know that when I'm watching videos like these, it's helpful to see kind of all the little details on how things are done. And believe it or not, for the painting, we actually didn't use a spray painter. It probably would have been a lot easier, but we did it by hand, so rolling and with a paintbrush. Please don't forget to subscribe if you found this video helpful at all. And also, I will link down below a list to all the supplies and stuff that I used for this whole project. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.